guys, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, also known as Fiber Nymph, and today is Wednesday, October 8th. I am loving October. I am trying to enjoy every last drop of it. So I hope you are too. It's cool outside today, so I have the window open just so that I could wear something a little woolly around my neck and not get too warm. So little breeze coming in behind me, probably also a little bit of ambient noise from outside, which in this case involves cars and trucks on the road out front, but you're probably used to that by now. And with breezes, you'll probably see my wandering dude doing a little dance for you now and then. You never know. Anyway, how are you? I hope you are well. It's been a couple weeks since we chatted, and oh my gosh, I've got a lot of making to share with you today. But let's do the introductory stuff first. First of all, thank you so much for being here. If you are a return viewer, I'm so glad you're here with me again today. Hi, Babette. Kitty just walked in, of course. And if you are a new viewer, thank you for being here as well. I hope you enjoy what I have to share. And as always, if you are a member of the channel, thank you so much for helping to support what I do here. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a channel member, you can find that information below the video. Just click where it says join and you'll see the perks from that. Below the video, you'll also find all the information that I'm going to talk about today in the show notes. So in the description box, just click more, it'll drop down and you will find timestamps to all the projects I'm going to talk about, project page links both on Ravelry and on my project blog called My Favorite Day. And if there is anything that I talk about today and you can't find the information that you're looking for, just leave a comment and I will be happy to reply in as timely a manner as possible. Let's see, I think that's all of the pertinent stuff. Like, subscribe, you know, the YouTube thing to help the algorithm and other people find the podcast. What else? Some more specific announcements. Currently, I do finally have all of my in-stock items and the die-to-order items that were in the shop before I went away on vacation. All of that is back in the shop now, so you should be able to find that. Please don't. Why every time I start recording, somebody comes up here and wants to rub against my tripod, and then you guys go moving? I'm so sorry. Please don't do that. She's looking at me with her big eyes like, what, Mama? Okay, so all of those things are up. The other thing I put up was die-to-order listings for 8 of my Christmas items, past Christmas colorways and yarn sets. Those are up now as well. I don't know if I may have a composite picture of all of them. If I do, I'll put them there. Otherwise, you can find them all in the shop. I am going to be adding die-to-order listings for the yesteryear colorways that I had some in stock, and there's still some in stock, but that went up shortly before I went on vacation, and then I didn't have time to put the die to orders up. I am going to be adding that very soon, so you can watch for that. I'm also going to be putting up full skein listings for my expanded Inversibles colorways. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that coming up. But that's something that has been on my mind to do ever since I started dyeing the expanded Inversibles. So if you happen to like one of the color combos more than the other and you just like a full skein of it, you'll be able to get that. So that will be coming to the shop fairly soon. Again, you know, newsletter. I always say this, the best way to know what's going on in the shop is be subscribed to the newsletter. You can do that from any page of my website, fibernymphdyworks.com. Coffee. Oh, I've got some really fun spooky season goodies in the shop right now. I wanted these to be up earlier, but there was a shipping snafu with my supplier and I didn't get them until a little later. So they're there now, but I have 3 really fun tote bags and I'm going to show you those. So there's this one, Knit Spooky with the florals. And here's the Crafter. And Knit Spooky. Super fun, right? So these are cotton canvas tote bags. I also restocked the cat and yarn ball tote bags that I had earlier this year in black and in the natural color. So there's some of those in the shop. The other spooky season things I have though are 4 vinyl decals. I have had requests for like vinyl stickers, vinyl decals in the past, and they came out with ones that were these designs. So those 3 designs I just showed you there, I've got stickers in the shop for those, and there's one more. Here, I'll just put the pictures up here. So those 4, they are in the shop. I also restocked the Hiya knitting needles, although some have sold out since I've restocked. So there aren't, everything's not in stock, but a lot of them are restocked now. And what else? Oh, the Hiya snips, like the puppy snips, kitty snips, and the octopi. There's more of those in the shop now. Oh my gosh, where did I put my notes? There we go. Oh boy. What else? Right now I'm working on a bunch of deadline stuff, like club and some other projects I've got going on. So I'm probably not going to be putting any more Halloween colorways in the shop at this point. It's just a little too close. I'm always happy to do special orders if there's something that you want and you don't necessarily need it for this Halloween. You can email me, but I'm not planning to put any more in the shop in stock unless I have like a second skein from a set I had to dye for somebody who wanted, you know, a special order. Anyway, but I will probably be putting up maybe some more fall colorways since we're still in fall, obviously, and definitely moving into like the holiday and Christmas colorways. Those will be coming up soon as well. Some in-stock ones in addition to the ones that I told you are up as pre-order, or not pre-orders, dye to orders. I think that is everything I have to tell you as far as intro and announcements. So let's get into the crafting. Did I tell you what I'm wearing? I don't remember if I told you what this is. I've started this a few times. This is my Augustine shawlette. Valdis Vrang is the designer. I made this like 10 years ago, and it was a skein of Diabolical. Diabolical, she is no longer dying, but it was just a one-off colorway. It didn't have a colorway name, and it made a really perfect little shawlette. It's really cute. It's I've made several of these. They make great gifts, by the way. It's just a single skein project, and you work end to end, and you do these dropped stitches, so it's nice and lightweight and airy, but it gives you just that little extra bit of warmth. And so that's what I'm wearing today. Ow, earring. My hair is so long right now. I haven't had it cut since March, I don't think. I'm kind of digging it. Not sure where it's gonna go, but right now we're just wearing it long. All right, that's all of the announcements. Let's get into the making. I've got some really fun things to show you today. And the first thing is just a wee bit magical. Ta-da! Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh. So, I'm trying to make sure it's on right. There we go. Oh, it's so cute. This hat I made kind of on a whim. It's called Twisteria. That is the Twisteria. Twisteria, yeah, by Shelby Daft. It's a crocheted hat. Obviously, little witchy hat. I decorated mine with these kind of silk flowers and leaves that I happen to have, because of course I did. It was a really fun project. I did it mostly in about 3 days, and then the 4th day I did put this stuff on. My daughter and I were going to a Halloween witchy themed market last Saturday, and they were really encouraging people to like dress up and have fun with it. And oh my gosh, so many people dressed up in witchy garb, witchy hats. They were actually having a hat contest. I did not enter the contest, but it was just so much fun to walk around and see everybody all dressed up. So anyway, I decided I was going to make myself a hat. I'd had this pattern in my queue for a while. I hadn't purchased it yet because I thought, when am I ever going to wear that? Well, I had the perfect time to wear it, and so I did make it. Again, it only took me about 3 days. It stretched my crochet muscles because I'm not that experienced of a crochetist. So I did learn new things in this. I also learned, because the construction was very different than anything I've ever done in a hat at all, I learned how to do it a little better and make fewer mistakes. If I make another one, I do have yarn to make another one. I told Emma I would make her one if she wanted it. But anyway, yeah, it's super fun. The yarn I used is some Caron Super Soft Party that I happened to pick it up at Joann's down in Florida when I was at my mom's earlier this year, you know, when they were doing all their millions of closing sales. I had no idea what I was going to do with this sparkly acrylic yarn. I had no plan for it whatsoever, but I had these 3 colors and then I have 2 blues and a silver. That's what I would use if I want to make Emma's because I don't have enough of these colors to do another one. But it was the perfect yarn because the pattern was actually written for Caron Super Soft. So the fact that I had sparkles just made it so much better. Yeah, so you start at the top and you crochet down and then you get to this point and you stuff it. I mean, it's optional, but she recommends it and I did. And then you close that part off and then you basically do the rest of this just as a hat. So in a way, I think it looks a little odd because you've got this narrow bit up here and then it really gets big to the hat part, but it's also sort of cute, you know? The way you scrunch this down to make it all wrinkled in on itself is built into the pattern. It's very clever. I screwed it up because of how I made a mistake in this part where I was having to close off the stuffed part. So I had to fake it a little bit and it's not as scrunchy as it should be, but it's fine. And then you do this and then you do the brim. These pink stitches, this is all surface crochet that you do after the hat's finished. Yeah, well, pretty much after it's finished. I did it before putting the picot edge on just because I think, I don't remember why, but I did things a little out of order. I mostly followed the pattern though. You'll be impressed. Proud of me, right? So one of the things I did learn to do was how to crochet around wire. You put wire in the edge of the brim so you can, like, you know, you can shape your brim however you want, which is super cool. And then again, you do this to have that extra fun color in there. So I had never crocheted wire into anything. I had never done this. I don't think I'd done this kind of surface crochet before. I've definitely never done this kind of thing. So it was very much a learning experience, but I was very happy with the finished object. When I first finished it, I thought, you know, I like it kind of as an object. Like to perch on things around the house maybe, but I didn't know how much I would really like to wear it. But after I added this stuff on it, I thought, oh, this is super cute. And so I did wear it. So this is what I looked like getting ready to go out Friday night. Did up my makeup. We had a good time. So anyway, and it, you know, it is acrylic, not wool, but it was also quite warm Saturday. So the hat did get a bit toasty after a while, but it didn't stretch out. Now, the only thing I didn't do that she recommended was to put a drawstring on the inside so that you can keep it snug. But again, mine didn't stretch out. Now, maybe if I was wearing it like all the time, eventually it would stretch out. I could always add that drawstring later. I don't think that's going to be an issue because I don't see myself wearing that on a super, super regular basis. But I'm glad I made it. It was fun to wear. It was perfect for the event that we went to. And now I have a fun, sparkly witch's hat. And who doesn't need to have one of those to just pull out at a moment's notice? Okay. Moving on, I have one more Halloween-y themed item that I can show you. And this one you have seen before. And it is my Halloween socks. Classic Halloween vibes. This is my expanded Inversibles colorway that I did this year for Halloween. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. I really love this darker color. And now this gets back to what I was talking about a little bit ago about I want to be able to offer these in full skeins, but like you could pick, like if you like this one, you could get a full skein of this one. Or if you like this one, you could get a full skein of this one. So I have to think about how I can list those to make it easy to do those kind of choices. It might just be like classic Halloween A, classic Halloween B, and then you can pick the full skein. That is my plan, and I'm planning to do that for all 7 of the colorways that I have in the shop right now. So you can be looking for that, but yeah, I'm really happy with how they turned out. My original plan was to do, oh, and this is my bounce base. I'm sorry, I'm skipping important bits here. My usual 2x1 rib, it's not really a pattern. I know, I keep saying I should write it up. I say that about a lot of things. Anyway, I did the contrasting heels, and my plan was to do contrasting toes as well. And when I do that, I usually alternate them. So like the purple heel would have a black toe and vice versa. However, that didn't work out color-wise, because whenever I got to this point, like this purple stripe is where I started my toe decreases, I would have been putting a black toe right here, right after this black stripe. This one would not have been as big of a deal because this would have been the purple toe, and that would have worked okay. But you know what? I just decided I have plenty of self-striping. I'm just going to do my toes in the self-striping. And you know what? It's perfectly fine. So in the end, I did not use a whole lot of the contrast. I mean, see, like right here, you've got this purple heel right after the purple stripe, kind of. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so I'm really happy to have these finished. These are for me, so I have new Halloween socks this year, and I'm very excited about that. So those are my 2 FOs that I can show you this week. Projects that I have worked on. I do have a new cast on. It is also Halloween themed. We're going to stick with Halloween for right now. If you are doing the mystery knit along with Stephanie Lotven, who is Tellybean Knits, she does a Halloween MKAL. She's done one several years now. I did it 2 years ago. And it's always a cowl, at least it has been to this point. And so she's doing another one this year. And I decided kind of on a whim, actually while we were on vacation, that I was going to do this. So I purchased the pattern while I was away on vacation, and it started on October 1st. I'm going to show you my progress to this point. Today is day 8. Let's see. I did not do yesterday, day 7. I'm probably in the middle of day 6. So if you are doing it and you have not gotten to day 6 and you don't want to be spoiled, you're going to want to jump ahead to the next section. And I will try to remember to put that time down here. It'll definitely be in the show notes though, if you would like to skip ahead to the next project. But if you do want to see it and you're already past where I'm at, I'm going to be behind from now on because I'm going to make a change to this project. But if you want to see it, you got a couple seconds left. If you don't want to see it, ready? Okay, here. I'm going to show you now. Okay, so her project, her cowl this year is called, sorry, I got to get all my papers out. I believe it's called Halloween Party. Yes, the Halloween Party cowl. I will put a picture in here of the one that I did 2 years ago. This was called Haunted House. I did it out of a bunch of superwash minis that I just had on hand. It was cute. I was going to wear it today. Actually, I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. It's around. I haven't gotten all of my fall stuff out yet though, so I think that's why I can't find it. Anyway, I did it. It was fun. Obviously, it's not something I get to wear very often, but it was really cute. So I thought I'll do this one, but I didn't want another Halloween colored cowl because, again, how often am I going to wear that? I knew the motifs that she was going to do would be Halloween-y themed. That's the whole point, and that was fine. I picked colors. Oh, and I wanted to do it in non-superwash. Oh, I'm at a weird place. I'm not at the very end of my round. That's okay. yeah, I wanted to do it in non-superwash. So I went in my stash and I picked out 5 colors of some Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. And I needed a dark neutral, and so I had like a half a skein of my Fiber Nymph Dye Works Ridgetop Fingering, which was my superwash that I carried for a while. So I used that for my dark neutral. So this is what the colors are. Those are the colors that I'm using. And here I'm going to show you the cowl now as far as I have it done. So those are fun colors together, right? I like it. It does not scream Halloween in any way. So this was the first clue, which was mosaic. So it's not color because you're working the first part of it flat. It wasn't until, where did we start working in the round? Yeah, this gray and neutrally color. That's where it started working in the round. So these first sections were all worked flat. I do not remember. I think this was called Bobbing for Apples. And this one was called, I don't know, Costume, Closet, and Wigs or something to that effect. This was a really fun stitch to do right here. Actually, you're going up into this same stitch and coming down. So it's sort of looks more like a broom to me than wigs, but whatever. And then this blue section was pumpkins. It's sort of a pumpkin motif. You're not seeing it super well in this color, but that's okay too. This one, I think these are supposed to be moths, which like the unwanted guests in my green. So that was textural. And then you got into, so that was day 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 5 and 6 were 2 parts of the same motif. And this is where it starts to do color work since you're working in the round. Now, when I look at it here in the camera, I can see the motif much better than I can see it in person. It is skeletons. So that's interesting that I can see it so much better on the camera, because when I'm looking at it in person, I am not seeing that contrast. I picked this, like I said, this was a dark gray that I had dyed, and then this is some Jamieson and Smith. It's sort of an oatmeal color. It's this color here. And I did the thing where you take a picture and then turn it to black and white to see if you're going to have enough contrast, because she does tell you which colors really need to contrast. I did that and it looked like there was going to be plenty of contrast, but again, in person, I'm just not seeing that. So I'm torn. I still have probably half of the second part of this chart to go. I don't love skeletons as a motif. Like skulls I'm okay with. Skeletons, full-on skeletons aren't my favorite, but again, it's a Halloween motif cowl, so okay. I don't know whether to bother finishing this chart or to rip it out and just do these 2 colors alternating in stripes. Since I'm not really making this as a Halloween cowl per se, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure what I'm going to decide to do, because now that I'm looking at it like this, it's like, yeah, you can see that. I don't necessarily love it, but I can see it now. But if you can't see it in person, what's the point, right? Although if you can't see it in person, it could just look like a random design. So what do you think? I'd love to have some input there. 2 more charts have come out since this one, like yesterday's and today's, which I obviously have not gotten to. And it's more color work. Probably the rest of them are going to be color work, I would imagine, since again, we're working in the round. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I like the first part of it. I really like the colors playing together and everything. I just don't know what to do with that section because I don't love it. So let me know what you think you would do if this was yours, with that gray and naturally oatmeal section. So, all right. We're done with the Halloween things. Now we're going to move on to other projects, and I'm going to talk about the cardigan that I did show you last time. This is the Cascade Mountain Cardigan by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. I haven't worked on it a lot in the last week or so because of that hat, number one, and I started working on that cowl. So that was taking a lot of my time, my knitting time, or my crafting time. But now I'm going to get back to this sweater because I really would like to continue working on it. I did show you this already. So this will be the center back of the sweater, which I modified. I'm not going to talk about how I modified it again. You can go back and watch that in a past episode. But the last time you saw this, I showed you that I did the cuffs. So here's my cuffs. I crocheted the cuffs. And now I did work on the sleeves. I'm working on them concurrently. And these are all my colors. I love how this is striping up. It's so much fun. I am heavily modifying this pattern. I'm doing the granny stripes my own way, not the way they're written in the pattern. I've changed the stitch count. I'm basically building these sleeves to fit me as I go, because they were going to be really big if I followed the pattern. So the cuff will fit really nice. And then let's see, where are we up here? So that's how much room I have. Like once this is seamed together, it's going to be a fairly snug sleeve, but not skin tight. That's what I want. So I'm happy with that. So I have maybe that much left to go, whatever that is, about 3 inches, 4 inches to go, to finish the sleeves. I do have to do some more increasing so that there will be enough, armpit space. The arm side will not be cutting me off. So I will be continuing to do that, but I do have 2 sleeves. So there we are, 2 sleeves. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So I'm very happy with this project. This one, okay, so the hat actually also ended up being my very first finished object that would count as a pigskin party project, which is kind of funny. The socks will not, because I started those before the pigskin party started. This will definitely be a pigskin party project, and I'm very much counting on this being one that I get, you get bonus points. Now I can't remember what that's called. Blitz points. You can get 500 extra points if you use over 1,000 yards in a project. So I'm pretty sure this is going to get me that, because crochet uses a lot more yardage than knitting, and it's a full-on sweater. So anyway. All right, I think that's all I wanted to tell you about that. Hopefully I'll have a lot more progress to show you on that the next time I talk to you. What's up next? Okay, another project that you did see, and I have worked on some more, although I'm not putting a ton of time into this right now, but I have made progress, and that is the Same as It Ever Was hat that I'm making for my daughter, out of the Zauberperlen yarn set in this really fun blue gradient. So when you saw it last time, I think I had just gotten it on the circular needle. I had done all the crown increases, and I'm now just working around and around and around. But I am on the second little ball, so it's starting to introduce the black yarn. Here are the rest of the little balls. Oh my goodness. So this one will be next, and then you just keep working around, and it gets darker and darker until you get to this black color. I've been knitting a lot of dark colored things, like that hat, very dark colors, these socks, there was some dark in there. That cowl has some dark stuff, and I've been working on it at night in the bedroom while we're watching TV, and I'll tell you what, that's not a good combination. It's very hard. So the hat actually would be very easy. I'm sorry, I showed you that so fast and I've shoved it back in the bag already. This pattern is by Sarah Jordan, called Same as It Ever Was. I'm working on it, but it's not something that I'm dedicatedly working on. It's a really great project at this point to just pick up when I have a little bit of time and I want to do some knitting, because I don't have to think about it. It's just knitting around and around and around, and I will be doing that all the way until I get to that black ball of yarn. At the black ball, that's when I will be starting to do the decreases on the other side, and then, you know, that part gets shoved up inside this part, or the other way around. Anyway, so this is going to be a Christmas gift for her, so I don't have to hurry through this, and I can just kind of do it when I'm wanting to work on it and when I have the time. So it's that kind of a project right now. But it's in this cute little skeleton bag that I think is a Tangerine Designs bag that I've had forever and ever. So anyway, there's some skeletons. See? Oh, they're not skeletons, they're mummies. Never mind. I know my creepy creatures. Okay, what's next? Okay, we're gonna talk about things I didn't work on. My September charity hat that I technically started in August, I never finished it. And then it got left up in the motorcycle up in Nova Scotia. Have I talked to you since then? I feel like maybe I haven't. I don't remember. Bill did get back with the motorcycle just fine. So then I was able to get all my stuff. Oh, that's what I didn't bring out. I didn't bring you my goodies. I'll have to go get them because I want to show you the goodies that I got when we were in Newfoundland. Anyway, yeah, there's only a little bit of ribbing left because I had started it. I did something. I wasn't liking what I was doing. I ripped a whole bunch of it out down to the ribbing. So I'm either going to just pick it up and try to work on it again, or I'm going to just rip it out and start a new charity hat, because obviously September is gone. I have knit a bunch of charity hats this year though, and my goal was to do one per month. I know I'm way ahead of the game. I probably already have 12, frankly. So I'm not worried about that. There is like a pigskin party challenge right now where you can get, I think, bonus points if you're doing some charity hat knitting. So I may still do one. But the other thing I might do as a hat this month is with this yarn, which is some Rios in this really pretty pinky magenta color, because I know Emma does want a hat. And I had told her I had a hat idea in mind for her. But when she made the comment, it was back when I was knitting both of her roommates' hats, and she's like, hey, I'd take another hat. I could, you know, use another hat. Any of that yarn, because I had all this yarn out to show her one roommate so she could pick some yarn. She's like, I'll take any of those. So I thought maybe that was a hint that she'd really like a new one now, because I went back in my project pages, and honestly, I don't think I've knit her a hat in several years. Like, she was still living here when I knit her last hat. So I think she deserves a hat. So I'm probably going to cast this on. I think I'm going to do that waffle hat that I did so many of earlier this year, and I'm supposed to be writing that pattern up, and I haven't yet because I'm terrible about getting patterns written up quickly. Quickly. This is not anywhere near quickly. I'm sorry. I have a fuzzy in my eyeball now, I think. Yeah, so I think that's what this is going to be. It's a really pretty color, isn't it? And her hair is kind of a lighter version of this color right now, so that can be kind of fun. I'm probably going to use this. I have another colorway of Rios, Malabrigo Rios, that has this color in it, and I think maybe I bought them both at the same time. In fact, she may have picked this out. If she didn't pick this out, she picked out another skein. I don't know. Anyway, this is going to also be a hat, so that'll be a hat on the go at some point soon. What else? I feel like that was just sort of a random toss in. Oh, something else I have worked on is my never-ending pumpkin BFL. So I told you last time I had 4 bobbins that were ready to be plied. Oh, look, my basket even has, oh, those are leaves, not pumpkins. Wow, I am not identifying things well at all today. Anyway, I did ply those. Now I already had plied like a whole bunch, and this is 4 bobbins of singles that I clearly turned into one gigantic skein. And I think I didn't ply all of this at once on one bobbin. I know that. I think I must have just wound it off this way and made a monster skein. Anyway, here are the 2 that I just did, and you can see they're quite different in color. They all go together. It's all the same fiber together. Anyway, so I did ply those. And then I did start to spin. I said I thought I had enough fiber left to do 2 more bobbins, and I'm nearly finished. You can kind of see it right there. I'm nearly finished with the first half of that. However, I decided to take a break with spinning for a while because my hip has really been bothering me, and I don't know if all the spinning I was doing is part of why it's bothering me. Spinning doesn't usually bother my hip. It bothers my lower back if I don't remember to put a cushion behind me in the chair. But I don't know. My hip had really been bothering me, and it hadn't been bothering me while we were away, not too badly. So when I got home and I started doing all the spinning, I thought maybe that's contributing. So I don't know. Anyway, I will finish it. I'm so close. I can't wait to be done with that just because I want to be done with it. I've been working on it for over a year. Anyway, I knew I had this, my original ply, and I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it ended up. So when I was in my stash room going through all of my hand spun, I finally found it, and sitting near it was this. This is not mine. This is some hand spun that I purchased from Sarah, who also, I don't know if she's still selling hand spun under Fluvial Fibers hand spun, but she was for a while. PA Know It, Sarah. And I purchased this from her, and I thought, oh my gosh, look how nice this looks together. Now this I think might be a little heavier. This almost feels more like a sport weight to me. I don't know what it is. It could be a fingering. Her spinning is so much better than mine. Anyway, it would just be really fun to use these together eventually, like maybe when I do a garment. I mean, that's what I'm envisioning making with this, to have this in there as sort of like an accent color. I think that would be so much fun. So we'll see if I get to that point. I have to finish spinning what I have. Although honestly, at this point, the yardage I have, I almost said the mileage I have, the yardage I have is probably already enough to do a sweater, but I'm gonna finish doing all of it because it's not like I'm gonna cast this on in the next day or anything like that. So that's still in progress, but at least I've made progress. Moving on. Sewing. The sewing machine is still sitting out on the table here. I have not sewn another stitch since the last time I talked to you, and the sewing machine was sitting out on the table. But that's okay. That's also a plan for this coming weekend. What else? Do you remember the moth cross stitch that I started working on? Oh, when did I start working on that? Maybe last fall. I haven't done anything on that. And that was something I was really hoping to have done and framed to have out like by this Halloween. Not happening at all. I also made that cute little ghosty cross stitch for Emma last year. And I was going to make myself one of those. Haven't done that. So I'm really thinking about pulling some cross stitch out and just maybe making myself a tiny little ghosty cross stitch just to have for this year. I'm really in a ghosty theme right now. I just bought myself the cutest Halloween mug that has ghosts in a library. I don't need any more mugs, but I couldn't not buy this mug. And I also bought the same design in a phone case because I'm mean. Those things are coming. Anyway, yeah, I'm really into little ghosty themed things right now. And again, it's not just Halloween. I mean, Halloween's helping because I'm seeing that stuff everywhere, but I just love ghosties. So anyway, oh gosh, why am I even talking to you about that? Oh, the cross stitch, right. Oh, and also painting. You know what? I need to go grab a couple things. I'll be right painting. I have been painting again, and I just wanted to show you some of the painting things that I did because they're fun and they are seasonally thematic. So we've got a pumpkin. By the way, if you are in the Artistic License Club, none of these paintings are ones that I'm going to be using for the inspo. pictures that you're going to be sent for the next 2 shipments. So you don't have to worry. I'm not spoiling anything for you right now because Halloween is going to be far over by the time I'm sending you pictures for December shipment. Just wanted to mention that. So yeah, did a pumpkin. I used some like sparkly paint too, like some metallic paint, but you can't really see it in this one. A little bit of sheen. Anyway, so there's that one. And then it was funny, I started that pumpkin and then I was on YouTube and one of the painting creators that I watch every once in a while, she had a video out about painting pumpkins. And so I tried to replicate her technique for painting pumpkins. And it turned out okay. It's a different way of doing it, and I'm really kind of happy with that. It's a little more subtle than mine, and it too has like that gold kind of, yeah, you can kind of see it maybe at the bottom of these. I don't know. It's not coming across super well, but I like how it turned out. And then I know some of you know this creator because she's big on TikTok and she also is on YouTube. Andrea Nelson Art. I've talked to a couple of you about the fact that we both follow her. Anyway, she has done some paintings lately that I'm like, I have to try making those. And so the first one was this spooky moon and tree with bats. So she did do the moon and the tree with the dark sky and the bats. I think she put stars in hers too. I added the gravestones. She didn't have those in hers, but I wanted gravestones in mine. My bats, I don't think are super convincing. They kind of look like bats. Anyway, so this was one. And then this one I thought was so cute. It's not as good as hers, but I like it anyway. It's a family portrait of ghosts, and you got 2 people ghosts plus a cat ghost with this little spider web. Now, she had the spider web, but she only had a spider like on top of her frame. I put a spider like hanging off the spider web, which you can't see super well. And then there's one down here and one up here. I love doing little spiders. I showed this to Bill and Bill's like, so is that where the cat scratched them? I'm like, no, it's just like they're ghosty sheets that have wrinkles in them. I don't know. She did that in hers. Mine look a little weird. But anyway, it was fun. And that's why I do this, because it's fun. So I'm glad to be back to painting because I hadn't painted in a while. Definitely not since probably midsummer. I don't remember when the last time was I painted. It's been a while and I'm happy to be back at it because I'm sure I painted more in the summer than I'm thinking of. Because I just took a bunch of refrigerator paintings down because I'm 3 and I hang my paintings on our refrigerator. And some of those were summery ones, so I'm sure I did those in the summer. Anyway, whatever. I hadn't gotten to paint much right before we went away. And now I'm painting again and that makes me happy. Okay. I think that's everything as far as stuff that I have been working on because that was a lot. Bill's going to be away this coming weekend. He has a motorcycle thing he's going on, which means I'm going to have 3 days here at home and I have all the crafting that I want to do. So who knows what you're going to see next time because I have a list and I'm all over the place with the different crafts that I'm going to play with this weekend. We are going to do the Choose Your Own Adventure make-along prizes. I'm going to announce the prize winners for the 3rd quarter. That ended in September. So if you are participating, you're going to want to pay attention. I do have 3 winners to announce. Just to let you know, we are running this all through the year. So we're in the final quarter now. You are more than welcome to join in. It is a Choose Your Own Adventure make-along. You get to decide what you want to do. You make your list and you work from that. It's very simple. There is information in the Ravelry group. There's information on my website, in the blog, on the Fiber Nymph Dye Works website. All of that's listed below in the show notes. So hopefully if you'd like to join in, please do. It's never too late. And I do prize winners every 3 months, quarterly this year. That's what it is. So anyway, let me first show you what the prize options are. I pulled 4 skeins of yarn out of the shop, and these are your prize options this time around. There are 2 fingering weights, and they're both on my squish base, which is superwash Corriedale and nylon. This one is called Vintage Books, and this one is called Bring Me Orchids. Bring Me Orchids Vintage Books. Those are the fingering weight options. And then the other two options are DK weight. And this one is Gnome Place Like Home. So that was my Gnomey colorway. This is a yesteryear colorway. Actually, all 3 of these are yesteryears. Those first 2 were from the first round of yesteryear colorways. I think this was this the first one also? I don't remember at this point. Anyway, this is on Mountain Tweed Merino DK. And then the other one is my Pie Day colorway from this year, which was Kawaii Pie. And this is on my Strong DK base. So those are your 3 options. If you are a winner, please email me. Let me know that you know you won. And tell me what your top 3 prize choices are. And that way you'll be sure to get one of the ones on that list. Okay? And I'll get it sent out to you as soon as possible. All right, so again, we do 3 prizes, a chatter prize winner, a finished object prize winner, and an Instagram prize winner. For chatter, we had posts number 1612 in the Ravelry group through 2212, and the winner was post 2145, and that is MKAL, who is Linda. So congratulations, Linda. The finished object thread, we had posts number 87 through 125 as finished object posts, and the winner was post number 120, and that is Leaner, who is Eileen, and she posted a lovely pair of socks as a finished object. So congratulations, Eileen. And lastly, Instagram. Oh, Instagram. Instagram exists solely just to make life difficult for me at this point when it comes to doing this, because I talk about this every time, and I'm so sorry if I complain about it every time, but honestly, this time, not only I put in our hashtag, which is this. I put that in, and usually when I put that in and it searches, it brings up all the pictures with that hashtag. I put that hashtag in this time, and it said, oh, we're not finding anything. I'm like, oh, come on. And I put it in multiple ways. Capital letters, no capital letters. It would not come up with anything. Even when I specified tags, no, it would not come up with anything. No, you are not allowed in there. Sorry. Babette was going to check out my sweater. No. I finally had to click on somebody, like one of our group members who I know tags things, and click on the tag that they had tagged their post with to get it to show all of these. And it said, the AI said, oh, well, this looks like it's a tag, but we don't really have any information about it, but here's some posts that might be related. And yes, it was related. It was all the people who tagged everything. There was over 200. So thanks, Instagram. You're so helpful. Anyway, I did my random thing with the Instagram posts, and I landed on a post from Pam, who is Instapam Pep. It actually was a recent picture, and it was of a cross stitch that she did, a really pretty fall cross stitch with aspen leaves. So congratulations, Pam. So Linda, Eileen, and Pam, please email me. Let me know your top 3 prize choices and your mailing address, although I'm sure I have it for each of you, but send it anyway. It makes it easier, and I will get your prize out to you. So congratulations, guys. Thank you for participating, everyone who is coming along on the Choose Your Own Adventure. I am already starting to think about what we're going to do for next year's Make-Along. I love doing Make-Alongs. I have ideas. If you guys have any thoughts, I'm thinking that I might do one next year that might have different tracks that you can do. Yeah, I'm thinking about that because I have ideas for what I want to do next year personally in my personal making. And I always like some of that to reflect in the make-along, because then that builds in a way for me to actually participate in my own make-along. This year it's mainly been stash, although I did do 2 new recipes, which I'll tell you about this time in a minute. But yeah, I'm thinking about maybe having like a larger term project track that you could do, like if you have a big project or several big projects you want to work on through the year, but then also have like a small project track that you can do. Somehow, something like that. Would something like that be of interest to you guys who take part in my make-alongs? Let me know. I'd love input. Okay, yeah, so I did try 2 new recipes. That's one of my goals that I've had this year. Specifically, I'm trying to do new recipes that are gluten-free. And both of these were. The one was strawberry pretzel salad. Now, I know that's not a new thing under the sun. But we went to a graduation party back in June, and they had these little parfait cups. And the one was basically pretzel salad in a parfait cup, and it was so good. And I hadn't had that in years, like since I was a child, because pretzel salad was one of those salads that was really big that you took to like picnics and church gatherings and things like that. It's got that layer of pretzel and then the whipped cream with the cream cheese and then the jello with strawberries in it on top. And so I purchased stuff to make it, and I thought I was going to make it when my mom was here this summer, and then we didn't have time. And so I've still had the stuff. I thought, I'm going to make myself some pretzel salad. So I made just a small dish of it. It was good the first day. Pretzel salad, I've learned, does not keep. So that's why people made it to take to big gatherings. So it would just all get eaten, I think, because that pretzel layer gets really, really gross and soft. So it was okay, but I used gluten-free pretzels. So that's what made it gluten-free. And the other thing I made was a recipe for pumpkin bread from Smitten Kitchen that I heard about on the Fat Squirrel podcast. Amy Beth had made it. I can't remember exactly what she said about it, to be honest. It does have a really nice crunchy topping, and she made hers in a really decorative like Nordic ware pan, so it had a pretty design on the top. I just used bread pans. I split the recipe in half, and I made one because the flour is the last thing you add, so I made one with regular flour for Bill, and then I made one with gluten-free flour for me. And then I realized after I had them in the pans that I totally forgot to add sugar. The sugar that the recipe calls for. So I'm scraping the stuff back out of the pans, adding the sugar, putting them back in the pans, and then hoping I didn't mix up the two. And then it has this cinnamon sugar topping, which I put on mine, but not on Bill's because he's not really crazy about that kind of stuff. And I added pecans and cranberries, like dried cranberries, craisins to both of them. I thought they were good, or well, mine was good. Bill said he liked his too. It's very, very pumpkin-y, and it's not overly sweet, even with the sugar in it finally. Pumpkin has like that earthy kind of flavor to it when you have heavy pumpkin. Now, this pumpkin bread used a whole can of pumpkin as opposed to a lot of recipes that only use like a half can of pumpkin. And maybe that's why. I think it could be a little sweeter. Bill was fine with it as it was. But it definitely had a different flavor than like my standard pumpkin bread that I've made with my mom's pumpkin bread recipe forever. So I'm staring over there because there's both of those loaves, what's left of them are sitting on top of our microwave. So it wasn't not good. Like it was good. We've been eating them. Mine's almost gone because I eat mine more frequently than Bill does. But I won't say it like is the best pumpkin bread recipe I've ever had, but it was okay. And it worked fine with the gluten-free flour. I just used King Arthur, like I think it's measure for measure, like 1-to-1. Like you can swap out regular flour with this gluten-free flour, same measurement, and it's fine. It worked fine. So yeah. That was it. I'm really selling it, aren't I? I will link both of those recipes that I used though down below. I think that's everything other than life stuff. As I said, I'm still putting together the video about our trip to Newfoundland. I hope to have that for you soon, probably before I record next time, a regular episode. And I will get back with you in probably a couple of weeks. And until then, have a really good October, and I will catch you later. Bye, guys.